I have never been drawn to body horror movies, but everyone has been raving about The Substance being a top tier movie in this subgenre, so I had to check it out. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream, where every week we're on a quest to find out what is the greatest movie of all time. I found The Substance absolutely engrossing, for better or for worse. Absolutely engrossing. It started off a little slow, but Demi Moore's performance here kept me invested early on. Her performance throughout this entire movie was so damn good. I mean, she even won a Golden Globe here, a few days ago for this performance. And I'm not sure there's another actress that could have taken on this role and made you believe in what was going on screen in terms of the story, the character, and then kind of like real life persona. Maybe Jennifer Aniston, but like you definitely could not see her in this role. But then again, I could never really see Demi Moore in this role either. But on the flip side of things, Margaret Qualley did a really great job opposite of Demi Moore. It's kind of crazy how believable both of these performances were. And Dennis Quaid, guys, let me talk a second about Dennis Quaid. He put on the best portrayal of Vince McMahon since Vince McMahon. From the way he talked to the way he spoke and his view about women in general. Not sure if that's what they were going for, but Vince McMahon instantly crossed my mind the second that Dennis Quaid showed up in this movie. And that's the beauty of this movie, pun intended. There's something here that is relatable to so many people in the world. Everyone is afraid of growing old, getting wrinkles, not being looked at the same way that they did when they were younger. And The Substance really taps into that side of your emotions. We all want to be young again or to live vicariously through someone else that is younger. And what's even worse is that want or the need can be sort of a cancer to how you live your life. There are some really great concepts and themes here that I could talk about for a few hours. If there was one thing that I had to complain about it would be the ending. And I'm not going to dive too much into spoilers here, so you don't have to worry. But the ending is absolutely bonkers. It is very reminiscent of Malignant in a way. So if you have seen Malignant, then you kind of know where I'm kind of going with this. But for me personally, the movie just veered too far into left field with how silly it became at the very end. And that seems to be a lot of the complaints about this movie is centered around that actually, where the tone just completely shifts. It is, for the most part, a very serious movie. But to me, it just veered way too far into left field at the very end. That third act was something to behold, for sure. For better or for worse, that third act is either going to really make the movie for you or kind of hold it back for you. The body horror throughout this movie is really indescribable. I was somewhat uncomfortable for the entire runtime, but more so with that third act. Like, I don't want to say falls apart in that third act for me because it doesn't. That makes it seem like it goes from a great movie to a not good movie, and that's not the case. For me personally, did not like the ending nearly as much as the first 2/3 of this movie. And it's really all dependent on that tone shift. It was kind of jarring. But going back to the body horror of the third act, the sound design is taken to like level 10. There's some truly disgusting stuff going on here, and I gotta say, it was really fascinating to watch. Like, even with the tone shift and me not liking the third act, it was like I could not turn away from it whatsoever. Now, the big question is, where will I fall on this movie on subsequent watches? I always try to watch a movie at least twice. I don't know for sure if I would like this movie more or like it less. Like, knowing what I know now of this movie, having seen the ending, would I like it more on a rewatch or would I actually like it less? I'm not entirely sure about that, and that kind of scares me when it comes time to make my top 10 list of 2024. But regardless of of what you feel about the ending or what I feel about the ending, I think with the exclusion of maybe the last 15 minutes, The Substance is still one of the best movies in 2024. And I think it's going to be one of the more divisive ones, even though it's kind of skewing more towards the positive side of opinions. I just think it's a very, very different movie. I don't know. I've watched a lot of horror movies. I don't watch a ton of body horror. So I'm not the guy to really throw this particular opinion around very lightly. But I feel like this is a very unique movie in the horror genre. And I would recommend anybody check it out if you are a fan of horror movies, especially body horror on that. I feel like I'll be thinking about this movie for the days to come. But guys, let me know down in the comments below of what you thought about The Substance. How do you feel about body horror movies? In fact, go ahead and drop some recommendations down there for me to watch. Because again, I'm not very knowledgeable with this subgenre. And then while you're at it, in the description below, we have links to all of our social media accounts. We would greatly appreciate it if you went there, like, subscribe, follow, do all that bullshit. Really helps us out. And there's also a link to our Patreon. If you are interested in supporting us monthly, we would for sure be very appreciative of that. But that's going to be it for me. I will catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.